Hey, what's up? Lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the brand new 2021 Netflix original show, Cowboy Bebop. This is one season long. It was already canceled. It has not done well, and I completely understand why. This is based off of the 1990s cult classic anime, Cowboy Bebop. I am not familiar with that. I'm not familiar with the story. I know the fan base. I know that the longevity of the fan base, that cult classic status. I have no idea comparison between the show, the anime, and the brand new live action, and I feel terrible that this did not work because of how incredible the set design is, the costuming is, the action sequences were beautifully choreographed, the actors did an incredible job with the crap material they were given. Again, I can't compare the original anime to this, but the story that we got for this made absolutely no sense, and it drove me crazy, especially the cinematography and the music. Awful. So it's this space saga, right, about these cowboys, Spike and Jet, and they're getting bounties and this and that, and all of a sudden this crime syndicate comes into play randomly out of nowhere, story-wise. And it's now Spike's backstory. He used to be called Fearless, and he was a part of the crime syndicate, and the leader of the crime syndicate, Vicious, used to be his adoptive brother slash friend. And then we get a full episode 9 is the entire backstory of that they used to sleep with the same girl, and then that's why the implosion of the syndicate and why Spike has been quote unquote dead this entire time. But then he's not dead because he's been doing cowboy bounty hunter stuff for quite some time. There was an entire episode dedicated to finding a doll for Jet's daughter for her birthday. I don't understand. The plot was all over the place, going from this time period to that time, who slept with who when, who had connections to whom at what point. But like, Faye's character comes into the mix as another bounty hunter with amnesia, trying to remember her stuff, but like, we have her backstory, which is irrelevant because the only purpose of her at the end then was saving Jet and his daughter Kimmy. But like, it was just, and to have Julia like becoming boss at the end, it was the plot was not linear, and it didn't make sense how we wound up where we wound up because of the stuff that we were given from a plot point. It was very chaotic, especially like the random French guy who like was going on a killing spree at the carnival to kill Spike, but then Spike magically kills him by just stabbing him in the thigh, and he has a mental breakdown and just ascends up and then drops. What was the point of that? There were so many cringe moments, and I verbally said cringe while watching this. And again, it's unfortunate because the actors are not to blame for the material that they were given. I can't stress that enough. John Cho got ripped for that. He's been gorgeous since Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle, 2004, right? Love that man. He did so much physical work for this show, and it's so unfortunate that it just didn't work. I gotta admit, some drama moments worked, some funny moments worked, action sequences worked, but there was nothing combined that worked together very nicely. It was just sporadic and chaotic, and I was not a fan of how sporadic and chaotic it was when it came to linear time plot, when it came to character development, when it came to backstory. It was blurted here and there, and it made no sense. The thing that really pissed me off is the camera angles. The cinematography was absolute crap. I've expressed numerous times how awesome it is when a camera like goes from here and then like tilts for the dramatic effect, like in Stranger Things, like when the guy kicks the desk and the camera turns with it, gives you the chills, right? But then it goes back to your standard frame. So like every fourth shot was like this for effect. Didn't work. You only do this for effect in the moment. You don't do this for stylization aesthetic. Stupid. Then you have a 70s theme of like spy movie soundtrack, like a James Bond soundtrack thrown in with 1920s jazz, which is also thrown in with 1800s cowboys music. I don't get it. Pick a genre. The other thing that pissed me off, and again, I have no comparison to the anime, so I'm only going based off what we were given. Where the hell was this, right? So a lot of this took place on different cities and different planets, but it was our own solar system surrounding our own singular sun, right? And like, we only know this because of Jet's daughter Kimmy's play recital that she had. So they're like talking about terraformed Venus and terraformed Mars and terraformed Jupiter at some point. And I'm like, okay, but a lot of the 10 episodes take place in a city, in an alley, in a house, in an office. Very little of it takes place in actual space. So it's not a space saga. And the other thing that annoyed me is sometimes they're using actual bullet guns, sometimes they're using laser guns. There was the whole eco-terrorist scene at one point where it's like future tech of like what do they call it, pollinating or planting or something, when it's gas that just like transforms a person into a tree. And you're like, okay, cool, what are we doing with this? Nothing. That's it. You get 20 seconds of screen time and then that's it. You never see it again. No consistency. Drove me nuts. It had no idea if it was trying to be a drama versus comedy versus an action film. Like, there were moments where like a joke would be said and there'd be a pause to laugh, but you as the audience are going, oh, cringe, and like, why this is not. No, I understand exactly why it was canceled, and it's very unfortunate because it had a lot of potential. Of course, it has potential. It's another action space thriller that had an illogical soundtrack. The plot point was all over the place, and it's so unfortunate because the actors did a great job with the material they were given. I don't know how to stress that enough. I did not like this show. I have no interest in ever seeing this again. And to that, we will end this review. Mucho mahalo.